All right, the orientation, first thing we want to look at, we said it's advised to make use of a landscape orientation instead of a portrait orientation. So the way this is showing, this is portrait. You can see the way this is standing. So if this is your phone, this is a portrait orientation. But when you put it this way, all right, when your phone is lying down horizontal, that's a landscape. So example now, this my shot is on portrait orientation. I would just quickly take it to landscape, and it's now on landscape. Okay, so it's now on landscape orientation. All right, so this is landscape orientation. Now the beauty is that on this we can fit it into whatever we want. Even if we want the portrait orientation, maybe for reels or stories, we can just crop and remove the area we want to remove and still have it fitable on a portrait orientation. Most screens come in landscape. Call your laptop, your computer systems, your television screens, projector screens, and most screens are on landscape. Even your phones that are originally portraits also give room for landscape via flipping and rotating of your phone to have a landscape view, a larger view of your output. Now imagine these two expressions. When we say you have to be expressive, let's say for instance, oh no, youths are the people that need to, be vibrant. Their vibrance cannot be spoken of. But we don't like it when youths are over vibrant and then they are. Now, this is one storyline. Now, imagine this youths, they are very vibrant, and that's part of their making. But we don't like it when the youths are over vibrant. When you express, when you bring in expression, it sends more message than just being lifeless. All right, being static. I'm singing a song and I'm singing, for instance, something like bring down your glory, bring down your glory, bring down your glory, bring down your glory. Imagine that, compare it with this. Bring down your glory, 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 bring. So the expression sends more message across, and it makes your content more viewable, likable, and it will be able to keep people around. They are viewing it and not just listening to the sound. So when I spoke about headroom, if you look at the headroom here now, it's covered that the headroom is quite appreciable. The distance between my head and the top of the camera is not so much. All right, now imagine if it is as tight as this. All right, yes, you can see my head, but this is very tight. There are some platforms when we put it and then it's covered that the head will be cutting off. All right, so instead of having that, in fact, it's preferable you give us a higher headroom. While editing, we can trim it off. This is high, this is much. All right, this is much. So at least we'll be looking at 2 inches above the head. Okay, so it's better having this than having the other one, because we can't add up, but we can reduce. Do you understand? So, but more advisable, this is a proper headroom, all right, up like 2 inches above the head, so that regardless of the frame of the screen that you will be playing on, it will not be cutting off, and we can do a bit manipulations around it. So that's for the framing. And already, like I said, don't give us a burst in photo like this. All right, we are having just, let's say, this is good. All right, it gives us details. Yeah, it gives us details, but that's not what we need. Now the beautiful thing is that when you give us a frame as this, all right, see, getting up to this point, all right, even if we want to get something a closer. While editing, we can get that achieved. We can zoom in into your shots and get what we need. Maybe a close-up, something to give us more details. But if you are too in this way at your capturing point, there is nothing we can do. If you are too in, we cannot push it out. All right. So we will just have such bold face, too much details that we may not want to push out at a particular moment. Yes, I spoke about having a stabilizer, placing your shot on a stabilizer, a platform, like this camera that you are viewing now is on a platform, okay? This is a stabilizer, a tripod, all right? Camera is mounted on it. This is a type of tripod too, just for phone, all right? You can get something small as this, okay? Not until you get a very big one like this, all right? The one I'm using on also, it's a stabilizer. The camera is mounted on it, and then you have a clean shot, because when the shot is shaky, all right, when your shot is shaky, even as I'm shaking this, it might not be so obvious because I'm using a stabilizer, all right? So even though you can feel the shakes around it, but this shake might feel a bit rhythmic because I'm using a stabilizer on it. So even my shakes will not be obvious, unlike when I remove it from this, and then any of such shakes or movements will become so obvious, all right? So when your shots are stable, you make your viewers stay and they enjoy whatever they are seeing. Imagine someone, you're watching a particular picture, and the person holding that picture is shaking and shaking it. That's how it looks. You will not be able to concentrate. You will not have a clear view of that picture. Or you are reading a content, you are reading your Bible, you are reading a text, and then the hand is shaking, or you are in a vehicle, the vehicle is probably jerking. So you discover that you will not have a clear view, you will not enjoy what you are reading. That is how it happens when your shots are shaky. So please get these things are not very costly. I don't know the actual price in your area. So you just check out and you'll find out what it costs to have a stabilizer. You can easily mount your camera on, and then so that your shots will be stabilized. Also talking about uh, short angle, this very short now I'm picking it from a side angle, though not two-sided, but you can see it, you can see part of my ear is off. All right, you are seeing more of this side. So this is not central. Right now, the look at this system. The system is central. So we need you to probably place your shots at the front, okay? So let it be from the front view, unless you desire to have a kind of a side, then you can place it by the side. But most advised for this our content that you give us a front view. So I turn this way, all right? So I'm facing straight to my camera. So this is front view, this is side view, all right? So front view, side view. So if I'm singing, for instance, Jesus only is a message, it's as if I'm not having a contact with the audience. So, but when you face the camera, when the camera is front view and you are having eye contact, all right, at times you intentionally look at the lens, wherever your lens is, look at the lens there, because your viewers, they are seeing whatever your lens is capturing. So it makes it that when they are viewing it, as if you people are interacting, you are looking at them eyeball to eyeball, they feel your presence, even though you are not there with them, but they feel your presence because you are maintaining eye contact right from the camera. One thing about focus is that you try to make sure that your shot is sharp and not blurry, depending on what camera you are using. For instance, by the time you place your camera, and then my focus is locked on me, on the subject. Whatever that is at the background, regardless of the distance, all right, between the foreground and the background, the subject will remain in focus, and you will not have different exposures fluctuating. So it's maybe I will talk about this in our later discourse on exposure triangle, so that you will appreciate it better. All right, now let's talk about the audio aspect of it. All right, right here I'm making use of uh, uh, an audio device. All right, that's my earpod. So this earpod, with this, I can hear from another device. All right, maybe I'm listening to the pilot audio and I am singing along with it. I am miming or whatever, because I want to be able to record my video and my audio together. All right, and I wouldn't want it to be so obvious that I am listening to something, because of the scenario we are presenting on in a church service. So we want to see how possible we can conceal this guy. All right, so while buying your earpod, all right, you look for there are these simple earpods, smaller, that once you push it in, it's not so obvious. All right, so that it can be a bit concealed, unlike this device here that I am making use of. So let's say we have something like this. So right now I still have an AirPod, but you can't say it. It's not so obvious, all right, because it's simple and concealable. Even though I turn a bit this way, I turn this way a little, you will not. It doesn't draw attention. You don't see it so conspicuously, all right, unless maybe I now give you this side. You can now start seeing it. Even that side, you may not really see it. So you look for such AirPods. All right, if you don't have an AirPod, what I'm making use of right now that you are seeing, this is a normal headphone. All right, I just had to pass it the cable from the back, all right, of my clothes. Then you can pass it down, just like when you are wearing your lapel microphone, your head mic, and then you pass the cable to the back of your clothes, and then connect it to the phone, probably in your pocket or placed somewhere else. So with this, you are playing your song or whatever content from that phone or your system, and it's not shown. You are playing, and you are now lip syncing along with the audio, the pilot audio, so that your visual here is being recorded clean, and you are hearing, because since we want to do both video and the sound recording at the same time, if you are using a playback speaker and then it's sounding in the surround, you discover that you'll be having echo. All right, your own recording, and that's a pilot audio will be coming in. But with this, you will not hear. The only thing that will be entering your new record is what you are saying, all right, or what you are singing at that moment. So it will not be picking the pilot sound. So also I said, instead of in this case, instead of facing directly this way, you will see part of this. All right, so when I just a slight tilt, you discover that I've been able to conceal that guy. Even if when I turn, it doesn't mean I should now become too rigid and too mindful that I don't express. I can express. I'm using this, and then let's say I'm taking a song like wash me, O Lamb of God, wash me from sin. And I'm still expressing, all right? I don't need to be hyper expressive, all right? That I will not be shaking my head left to right, okay? So with that, I still minister, and I'm able to conceal what I needed to conceal. Still talking about the audio. Right now, I can decide to be recording direct, because where I am now, there is a kind of surround sound, and I wouldn't want to use my open mic of the phone to do the recording, because I have something else I can make use of. So I have my lapel mic, all right, so I could pin it up. Remember I said use your microphone at least 6 to 12 inches distant from your mouth. All right, listen to the sound here. And when I'm speaking this way, even though this microphone has a windshield, all right, it's padded so that it can help cancel some noise, but it's not going to be better like when it is a bit this way, all right, compared to when I am keeping it very close. All right, so it doesn't mean if we see the microphone, all right, yeah, it doesn't mean if we see the microphone, okay, but if it is concealable, very beautiful. People will be wondering where is the sound coming from, okay, but we all know that there is a microphone picking up the sound. All right, so if you can't conceal it, fine, but mind you, not too close to your mouth and not too far away, so that it can be able to pick it. And some people, remember, most of these microphones, the professional microphones, several of them are omnidirectional. So don't keep it and then you point it away. All right, not pointing away. Some even will point it down. No, it should point towards your mouth. All right, that's where the sound is coming from. It's going to pick clean sound, and then you will be able to enjoy what you are doing. Okay, you see, I had to make a little pause before I started talking. This is what we also expect of you, that before you start recording, make a little pause. All right, we want to hear the sound of the environment. All right, yeah, normally when I start talking, because my sound is closer to the microphone than the surrounding noise, it's going to push off part of that surround noise, but they are still there. All right, so but when you give us that pause at the beginning while editing, we can now easily cancel some of those noises, and then when you are done, also pause before you can now turn it off. By that, it helps us to also trim off properly without having to cut you off when you shouldn't. But what if I don't have a microphone like this? What can I do? Fine, you can record direct with that your phone. But if it is a bit distant and depending on the shot size, for instance, if I'm going to pick my full shot, everything showing, I will not be, if I'm using my direct phone to make that record, this distance of my sound and my recorder will be distant, and then it will be faint. So to avoid that, and then that might make me start shouting. So to avoid that, I get another phone or another recording device, all right, then place it close to where I am. It mustn't be seen, all right, so that as I'm doing my recording, the camera is distant. My sound recorder via my phone is somewhere. Please do not hold it, because by the time you hold it and then you are shaking your body, you are shaking it, you'll be having some distorted sounds, all right, some unnecessary noise that you wouldn't want. So, but when you place it on the platform, let it rest. And then if you are close to that platform, like I am, it's placed on a table and I'm sitting behind this table now, I should avoid tapping, all right, I'm shaking it, and then so that the same thing I was trying to avoid while I dropped it will not be there. So keep it away. If it's going to be on your body, probably in your pocket, all right, you make sure that you don't touch that part of the body, because you may not know those touches, they are also sending waves. We will feel it, and then this may hamper the clarity of the sound that we are expecting of us. And remember, like I had explained, your phone or your system you are recording with your camera adjust to get the best quality, all right, the highest quality of your recorder get it. Even though it's going to occupy more space, is the file size will be larger, but you have a higher quality of your record. The rest of the things we have mentioned to us, get a good environment, noiseless environment, do your recording. Where I'm making this record now, there are a number of sounds here and there. All right, and I'm giving it to you raw. The raw sound is what I'm giving to you. If you don't listen carefully, you may not get some of those sounds. But one with a sound ear, yes, all the ears are for sound. But when we say sound ear, those who really specialize in that, they'll be able to pick all these sounds and noises that shouldn't come into your production. Also, don't forget that you should be real as possible. Okay, you are supposed to be singing to a congregation, so sing to a congregation, not something like this. Let's say I want to sing the national anthem. Yeah, I'm saying something like Nigeria, we hail thee. Ah, na, 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 na. No, I should be able to sing out like I'm singing to a congregation out there. Nigeria, we hail thee. So but when you are singing out that way, your poise and you discover that we have a clearer sound to give out. We spoke about exposure, that is our lighting. When you look at this very shot, you see that the lighting is not evenly distributed. The exposure is not perfect. When you check my right hand side, you see that the lighting there is not enough, is underexposed at that level, whereas my left hand side is well exposed. So you need to be in an environment where the lighting is properly distributed. You can also see when we said we should stay away from the background, you see that because I'm very close to the background, the shadow is casting on the background as against if I were to be away from the background. So at least step out from the background and have a proper lighting as you see. So as we compare now, you see that the lighting here is better distributed evenly on all the sides than the one we had at the other end and standing out from the background. And now, speaking of green screen, though I couldn't lay hand on green screen immediately doing this recording, I had to use blue screen. I will explain that in a later discussion. Um, you see that there are some posts where my screen is not properly covered. Make sure that the entire aspect of the frame will be covered by that green. No other color should come in. And we need you to have a clean green, well exposed. And then don't express yourself beyond the screen, as you may see in the course of this work, so that by the time the editor is going to key out the green, you will now be able to do it properly like you see now. So this is the same shot like in the previous frame you just watched, but the background has been edited to give us another background. Just like I was saying, make sure that the entire screen, just like you saw in that previous one, all the screens wasn't covered by the blue. Make sure the entire screen is covered by that green, and then don't go beyond that screen. Like a few things you are seeing now, you are seeing where there is a demarcation. It shouldn't have been if the entire background is covered. But like I said earlier, we'll have a better class for green screen manipulations.